and gentlemen, how are you doing? How's life? How's this world treating you right now? Because it's a world. It's a world right now. Am I lying, ill?
No.
There's a world out there. And you definitely got to go out and experience it. You know, learn a couple things about yourself, about others. Because I think that's what the current thing is. To not so much try to envision how you would react in a certain situation, but more so how your fellow human beings react in a situation. I'm joined here by my main man, ill-logicz.
Hello.
We got also under his house, Mr. Banderson. What's going on?
In a bit.
And ladies and gentlemen, we have a very special guest in the building today. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor, my pleasure to introduce world-renowned producer / artist, Tony J.
¿Cómo estamos?
What's going on? Hitting us with the Spanglish early on. You know what I'm saying? Gotta let him know that it is Miami after all. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Tony,
Miami
how you living, brother? How's let's start off. How's this corona? I mean, I gotta how's your personal corona experience before we dive into everything else, before we dive into who you are? And I'm digging the shades off top. Tell us how's your personal experience been with this rona?
Well, at first it was scary, to be honest, just like anybody else. Maybe in my perspective, I felt it kind of like, whoa, what's going on? So I try to protect myself, of course, gloves, mask, everything, the whole nine. Everybody I approach, 6 feet.
Yep.
You know, try to stay as minimum as possible in the room. The whole rule is try to stay as safe as possible. And then just being at home was very like, I don't want to say depressing, but I try to stay outside as much as possible, still going out for, you know, daily drives, walks.
Are you like before this happened, are you kind of like a homebody, or are you the type that like, I gotta go out every weekend?
And nah, I stay at home.
Yeah,
I'm very
chill,
home,
watching Netflix.
Yeah, just relax.
Vibe
I don't
out.
really go out too much. If I go out, it's work related or with the people I work with, you know, and we just go have a nice time. Or at someone's house, you know, we have barbecues, we do different things. But it's not really going clubbing and stuff like that. Not right now. That's not my mindset. It has been like that for a while. So Corona was natural to me in that sense where we weren't going out, or like clubs closed, you know, because we go out of clubs like every now and then. But it was most like the restaurants and the bars that it was like around the neighborhood that you just drive by and you're like, wow, I miss going there. That's what hit me. It was very melancholic more than anything. You're like, wow. And then even now you're like, how is stuff still kind of closed?
Yeah. Like, I mean, even a couple weeks ago we were talking to Ill about his experience going to Texas, to Brazil, and we were just like, you went to the outside? Tell us about it.
Yeah.
Wow. Tell us what the world is going on right now. Tony, for the people, for your soon to be fans, why don't you give them a rundown as to what it is you do? You're a producer, an artist, but how do you define your sound?
My sound is very Miami. It's a mixture of a lot of cultures, a lot of different sounds and experiences that I go through in my daily life. The music I drive to from home to work. While I'm at work, the music there I also learn from. And then anything else is just thrown around from it's a big city, you know, and it's a lot of cultures. So there's where I pick up different things, and it's just not from what I work with, which is reggaeton. It's from anything else. You feel me? There's people from like Brazil, and you just driving by and you hear a party full of samba, or people from like Puerto Rico, and it's not just salsa. It's like other thing like playing out bomba, and they're outside just with a bunch of congas, and you just drive by and you're like, damn, eso suena rico, you know? You know, and then you go to Calle Ocho and it's a whole different story. Ahí sí se ponen con la conga los cubanos, and it's a whole different vibe. So you just start picking up different things like that, and you're like, maybe that will sound cool in one of my tracks, or adding like, and not just the element completely, just maybe the time signature that they use. You pick it up and you go, whoa, that's pretty cool. So that's pretty much what started me at first as a writer and as a producer, and I would just use that in all my music, just the culture from around me. And you listen to the music from my past, and it's very cultural, and I had to actually step away from that and be like, bro, I gotta become more like commercial, more modern, you know, because I can't just make world music, you know.
What's your background? Where are you from?
Colombia. My parents are Colombian, de Barranquilla,
okay.
which is a very party city.
Yeah.
It's a very de carnavale, and they have the whole Afro-Colombian vibes. So it's very cultural, which is where I get it from too. So I start absorbing like what Honduras be doing, what Cubans be doing as of their own native music, you know, and that's something you pick up in Miami.
Have you tried to implement any sort of native Colombian sounds? Have you tried? Do you put any sort of like, you know, your heritage in your music?
Yes, I have songs with vallenato a lot in them.
Okay.
It's a very easy combo to mixture together, if I can say that right, because I speak Spanish, so I don't know if I said that right. Like it's like vallenato and reggaeton se mezclan muy bien junto, ¿tú me entiendes? Because of the chord structures. Once you start putting the chord structure of vallenato in a reggaeton, it becomes more pop. So it's actually liked more as a very prettier, like, and then the words are very prettier. You have artists that are very pop, like Piso 21, Manuel Turizo, like people like that are very pop, and they use a very Colombian sound.
How'd you learn? And when did you learn? I guess kind of how to, you know, splice music and see the structure of it. Because not everybody can do that. You kind of have to have a certain ear for it. Tell me a little bit about that.
I was going to school Miami-Dade for music business. I was there for like 2-3 years. It's a 2-year program, but I was there for a little longer. Just having fun and just chilling with people. And I was an artist. I was always a writer. And then I needed, you know, to learn how to track people, how to track myself for these types of projects that I'm working with. And during that process, music just became easier to make off of certain, like I was saying, certain softwares that you just learn. It's just a software, you know. Music's learned like daily. I learned that like growing up. So it was just putting that into that software. Like a painter uses now like an iPad or like another pad, and they now draw like digitally. I was supposed to learn that in school. I picked that up. After that, it was just inevitable to just make beats all day. It was just like fun. And then I noticed the catalog that I had. I was like, this can be something. Like everybody else, you're like, yo, this can be something. This isn't just fun. And that's where literally the music flew out of me. It was at that moment. But music's always been there. Like I've done like drumline, and then back in the days I would go and I would arrange like drumline pieces. And I'd be like, yo, bro, I made a new cadence for you guys. And the drumline be like, damn, that sounds cool. You know, so back in the days, I was producing in my own way. Like, I was in high school, and I didn't know I was producing. But I was there like, yo, I got a new beat for you guys. And it was the drumline. The drumline, yeah, bro, let's play it in the pep rally.
Yeah.
So now it's like, okay, I was doing stuff like that. It's like, now I see where I got it from and how it was fun. It was just adding it to a software.
Right.
Literally.
I say you highly musical inclined.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
you got a lot of musical training, that help you out now. Like for you to even notice that this other sound here, this country has this sound. This country, let me infuse it. Let me to be aware enough to even see that people don't see that. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't see it.
Dude, that I am that's a melody from her name's Totola Momposina. She's actually a very native singer in Colombia. She's actually from like I think it's like, I don't want to say La Guajira. She's from like El Atlántico, bro. She's like from like, it would say Homestead, from like the fields, bro. And she was a singer that just has some melodies. And that flute it's called una gaita. That's made out of like what is it called? It's a tree. And they just literally, it's a tree, and then like it's like a certain type of sap, kind of like what you do your roofs with, like that black sap. They just dip it in there and they make holes, and it literally starts to play. Una gaita, you look it up, that shit was used by Timbaland. It was just used now, and bro, they had to go like think like that. They were like, yo, what can we find out of these countries? They went deep and they found this little and you search it up and you're like, what the fuck? Gaita instrument.
It kind of looks.
Colombia.
I remember that Timbaland song did that.
That's like from like the 50s, 60s.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like deep. Like I was like, yo, when I heard that sample, finally, like after I like knew about the sample, because that song was way before I was born. I was like, that dude, he did that. I was like, he pulled that out of somewhere where I'm from. I was like, yo, that's pretty cool. So that's literally where I started like noticing stuff like that in music, where I was like, bro, they get this out of here, they get this out of here. There's a song que suenen los tambores, oye. That song was huge here. I don't know if you've heard it with Victor Manuel. That's an old school song too. They just pulled it out the fucking. They just went, here, bro. This is a cool ass song. Let's do it again. And it's a typical, I think, Cuban song. It's like very typical, like very organic, like ethnic. It's a very ethnic song, and then they just made it into like this whole pop song. And you're like, damn. So I like researching into little countries and little doing like things like that just to see what they have, you know.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
How much would you say is how much is you being self-taught as opposed to you know, what you learned in school and what you were traditionally trained?
Well, I wasn't self-taught. My dad's he's a musician. He's been touring my whole life. That's where I picked it up from. We actually landed here because of that situation that he's in, you know, where he was just touring. Now he's really slowed down. Because he's well in his 50s. But in his time, in his peak, he was a conga player. And that's where I learned a lot of stuff. I have pictures with Los Hermanos Rosarios.
Wow.
I was like 5.
Oh my God.
Dude, I have pictures.
Fangirling a little bit. He's like,
pictures and videos with me on stage. I was like 4 or 5. So like I've sat there and I've seen stages, and you're like, crap, dude, those are like, those
are Dominican gods.
I'm gonna find that video.
Baby.
I'm gonna find that video.
Dominican gods. Why don't you give us a little bit of a rundown as to what they mean?
Rosario, bro. Those are the guys that like so much of our music that we love to dance to and make babies to, and they're just vibes, bro. Them and Juan Luis Guerra. Those are my like 2. Y La Banda Gorda. That's another amazing band. Yo, they're amazing from DR. I think a side note, just because in the music industry I don't like to use the word recycled, but there are a lot of recycled sounds, and that's like what he's talking about, how we use like different, or even some of the new songs nowadays that are popping. There's like, dog, there's songs from back in the day, or there's songs that maybe was popular in dance hall and they just use that instrumental or whatever.
And we're all humans, so if it was popping back in the days, why wouldn't it pop now? Like, like it's still good. We're still in that era. Like, we aren't like prehistoric. Oh, it would happen 100 years ago. No, but it happened 40 years ago. Like, how is that not still relevant? Like, we're still listening. And that happened 300. And that's 300 years ago, 200 years ago. So why can't we do it with songs 30 years ago? That's mad. Like right now, we're still rocking jeans. You know, like we can. Come on.
Yeah. So, I read somewhere that I think it was Beethoven. They're like, oh, Beethoven's black.
I heard something about that. I heard something about that. And they started making memes. And
it was like when I found out Beethoven was black, and it's like Ray Sherman. They put Beethoven.
They did one when you know when Kanye West first performed Runaway, that he only did the one note. He played it and it was Beethoven. Oh shit.
That's hilarious, bro.
Yo,
the truth.
When you were first starting out, what made you decide, or have you decided, if you're gonna take the route of Spanish music or English music, mix of both? You know, do you think that language plays a pivotal role when it comes to music?
It does. But music itself is a language. So you put somebody like sheet music, and it doesn't matter where he's from, he's gonna, like, if he's musically talented enough to pick up, you know, also the vibes, because you can put un chino una salsa y te toca una salsa. You feel me? So music itself is a language. Just a note to the staffs. So that. But for me, it was just the environment I was in. My father, you know, the music I was around, and then just being in Miami, you know, there was only stations like Power 96, 94.9 that I would listen to. Now there's a bunch of other radio stations, but there was certain limits. And then even Power 96, back in the days, it was DJ Laz, and he was spinning a little bit of, you know, Oye Morena, que buena está. So it was just like, it was where I was at and where I grew up. And then the high schools that I was, there was Hialeah Miami Lakes High School. So that was like Hialeah, you know. So it was just the music around me. It wasn't really hip hop. A lot of people like listen to hip hop, you know, and if they did, they were like, yo, Bone Thugs and Harmony. And I was like, that's not for me, you know.
Yeah, for
that's
sure.
not for me. And Lil Wayne was for me, and I really did like, I had that era where I was like, you know, Lil Wayne, Drake, and everybody had the little era, you know, YOLO, only live once, that's the man, you know. Everybody had that era, but it was just, nah. For me, it was like, bro, I like going to like Bully. I like going to El Típico. I like going to Café Iguanas. I like going to these places where they spin the Spanish music because it's cooler to dance these songs. And, you know, I don't know, they throw un merengue and you're just like, you know, a los 15 too, everybody. And that's another one, los quinceañeras, you know, boy, growing up. So that has to do with my music, you feel me? That culture, the quinceañera culture. I was about to go, you know, and then all you hear is quinceañera. She has a quinceañera, she has a quinceañera, she has a quinceañera. And it's just Spanish music at these places.
If one of them has it, they all do, you know.
It wasn't hip hop. It wasn't hip hop. So that's where I picked up the Spanish from.
What would you say are some of your biggest inspirations as far as your sound?
Where I'm from, a lot of it where I'm from. Like I've seen the growth of J Balvin since he was like little, like, you know, like he was like 2008, 2007 with his mixtape. I owned the mixtape. It was on my iPhone. I had it there, and I was like, wow, J Balvin. I've always been the type to like look for little artists. Like, okay, I like this kid. I like that. I like that. I like that. So back then, like everybody, like, you know, like the SoundCloud. Like, yo, I like SoundCloud. So I was like that back in the days, and it came from that, also from vallenato singers. A lot of vallenato singers, because I just I saw a different type of fame in that genre than any other genre. It's a very organic fame. It's like they're really well known in their city. So that's what I knew, because that's what was brought to me to my life. Kind of like merengue in DR. You know, like it's really big in DR. So and then they go to certain cities and they're gods. That's what it is for vallenato.
They are gods.
That's what it is for vallenato. So I was like, that's why I was like, okay, it's pretty cool to be famous, you know. And that's why I picked it up. Like, these were my inspirations. Like, okay, these guys, and I can name a bunch of them, like Diomedes Diaz. And like today, I go to like un vallenato, and bro, these guys existed in the 70s, and there's a bunch of new artists and new stuff now, but people want to hear what these guys were singing in the 70s, 80s. Un clásico, ponme un clásico, los clásicos, cántame los clásicos, and you're just los clásicos. So I was like, yo, that's cool fame. That's legacy.
That is legacy.
That's legacy. So that was my inspirations, you know.
Was that
random, like old school?
Was that kind of like a moment when, you know, when you saw people that are still requesting music for so many years back? What was the moment that you decided that, you know, music was something that you wanted to pursue and something that you were serious about? I'm gonna just say when I was serious about it, because to pursue it was just it was forced upon me. My dad, you feel me? Like, my dad, I blame him, and I keep saying my dad, and I keep saying my dad because, you know, it's Father's Day and all too, and maybe he's just in the back of my head right now. But he was the one that, you feel me, he would take me to his rehearsals. Kind of like right now, if I if I have somebody, I gotta go to work, so what he would do is just bring me along because he had nowhere to go. So I was just at his rehearsals, and I would just see that. So I grew up, and it wasn't till I grew up, and it wasn't like till recently where because I was just, it was my normal. And then when I saw the money behind it for real is when I was like, yo, this is for real. What I'm doing is actually a job. What I'm doing is actually real. You feel me? I just have to take it more serious than what I'm doing now. And this is what he was telling me 5 years ago. Tómalo en serio. Esa plata en los Jordan lo estás gastando. Eso no sirve. Eso, esto. And I'm like, for real, bro, I could have been somewhere else with my money. I could have been somewhere else in my life. I'm over here, nigga, just gigging because it's fun. And it's like, no, bro, this is a job. This is pretty cool. And it was maybe like 2021 when I noticed. I was like, nah, these gigs and this life, it was pretty cool. And that's when I started engineering too. Everything just went hand in hand, you know. When I started learning how to engineer and I opened my eyes, everything just became a job. I was like, this is fun, and this is money, you know. Like, I'm going to school for it. I'm about to graduate. I opened my eyes. I go, this is who I am, you know. You're a doctor, you're going to school to be a nurse, but that's your story. This is my story. And it was, you know, I just lived it so long that I didn't notice. Word. You know, so I took it serious. That's when I'm gonna tell you when I took it serious. It was like maybe 21. I was like 21, and I was like, yeah, bro, I really want to do music, and it was fun, and then I just started, my business started going up, and I just started writing for a lot of people with reason. Now it's like, okay, here's my ASCAP ID. Okay, here's my thing here. Here's my thing here, and you started getting, like, you know, known around the place, like, okay, te lo está tomando en serio. And then that's when you start working with different people, and I took off. I think we're good on the stream. We don't want to stream the whole show, you know. as far as how did you come into the whole asylum? Like, how'd you meet Ill? Like, how?
A while back too.
While back.
I was 8-17.
It was in that process where I'm telling you, I started taking things seriously. We were like, I was like 20, 21. Yeah. I was just hopping around studios, just like meeting people. Like, okay, what you got going on? What I got going on? Let's just collab. I started collabing with somebody he was working with at the time. Well, I don't know if you were working with him.
It was.
So I collabed with one of the producers in that place, and that's where I met him. That's it. That we planted the seed. That was cool.
Planted the seed.
Yeah, I was like, yo, all right, guys, we did the record. All right, thank you guys. Later, goodbye.
And that's by the way, that's the smartest way to do it, because you don't want to go up to somebody's face and be like, hey, I'm available. You know, because you don't want to seem desperate. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I didn't even know he had this going on, you know?
Okay.
And then I had my whole story going on. I had everything going on over there. I was writing for people. I was working out of another spot. It was completely different. And then I was like, you know what? Like everybody's like, yo, it's time to go, you know? So when it's time to go, I was like, okay. Around that time, he had age 17, I think it was.
Yeah.
And then I was like, yo, we started coming out to parties. We started chilling.
Yeah.
But at that point, I was still over there though. And then we just started linking up. I linked him up with one of my friends at the time, and he just started working with him. But I was still just a friend. I would just come over, you feel me?
Vibe, yeah.
Book a session with if I had friends like Rico and stuff that would go book sessions, and we'd just be out there. Then about a year later, that's when I was like, yo, I'd like to get a job here. Let's get a job. And that's where things just really took off.
Yeah.
What do you look for as a both as an artist and as a producer? What is it that something, you know, what's something that you look for in a studio when you're looking for it? Is it only the equipment? Is it more so the vibe? What plays the bigger role?
The vibe.
Oh yeah?
The vibe. I mean, equipment's great, pero
like you could have the most maxed out thing, but
pero siempre dicen que es el indio, right? Y no la flecha. Es el indio, no la flecha. ¿Tú me entiendes? Es el indio. Es el que la tira. Es el que la tira. You know what I mean? Then you could throw a rock and that guy will get you a freaking, you know? No es la flecha, dog. So it's just the vibe, you feel me? If the equipment's there, and God bless the equipment's there. We're gonna flourish. Eventually the equipment will be there, or you know, things just get better from everywhere, from every aspect. But it's just the vibe. If the vibe's not there, you know, if the team's not right, you know, you feel it, and here you felt it. You're like, nah, bro, this is a bunch of people around my age to begin with. There's no one like a lot older, you know, in their 40s or 50s, where it's like they're just like watching you, and it's like no. We're all here in the same vibes, the same energy. We all feel about the same. You feel me? It feels natural to us to be here, and it feels great. That's why I was like, yo, this place is awesome. This isn't like different for us. This like we're all like almost the same, you know. Yeah. You feel me? We all have the same goals. We want to get somewhere in life, you know. Even if it's like we're all eating healthy, or like some of us are going to the gym. If you look around, you're like, okay, we all have a goal. Yeah. We're all leaving here this door with a goal every day, or we all walk in here with goals. It's not just like we're chilling here. And the people that are chilling here will be like, yo, what are you doing? You know, just to see what's up. Do you want to book a session? Do you want to do this? Do you want to do that? Because we are that type of person that we always have something on our agenda. Always, we all have agendas, you know.
Craig, would you agree as far? Would you agree as far as the vibe, the equipment?
Shout out Ozark too.
Shout out Ozark. Well,
Ozark, who mixed Ozark?
Oh yeah. Oh shit, it was. Did he mix
the show?
Yeah. Is that Craig? Yeah. Craig made a reference from an episode like 15 episodes ago. Yeah.
Shout out to Ozark. Yeah.
Tony J himself. Didn't you do a song that ended up on Ozark? Tell me a little bit about that. That was amazing.
That was crazy. That was actually unexpected. You know, they didn't tell me it was for it, and they probably had no idea it was for it either.
They snuck up on that Netflix deal, boy.
Yeah, we were like, what? Bro. Nah, it was just a record she did, and she produced herself, and she just wanted to bring it. And she was like, hey, look, I want to keep working on it. And I was like, okay. We worked on it maybe like 3 times, and it was just it was a self-produced track. Like, she produced it. Like, shout out to her. That track made it on Netflix. She tracked herself. She produced it herself. Yo, she's from like some other country, Belgium, I think. Like, it was hard to even talk to her sometimes because, you know, she was totally different vibe, totally different person, you know. That's what I mean. Working with different people, different energies, different. Like, she was some Belgian chick.
How often would you guys say that that's the case, that an artist comes in with a track that they produce themselves?
It's not common at all. No, most of the artists that come in, you know, they either have the track on their email or they get it from online, and you know we have to download it for them and all that. But you know, for just to, you know, to run into somebody like that and it land on a platform like Netflix that was dope, man. That was really dope. And he actually mixed the entire track down.
Wow.
I even spoke to him after, like before that even happened. Like as soon as, cause she needed it mastered, so he sent it to me for the mastering. And when I was done with it, I spoke to him. I'm like, bro, like, you don't understand how much I appreciate your mix, because it's easy to master a song when it's mixed well. And it was like, I was telling him that, yo, that song was mixed well, dude. Like, because when you're mastering a song that's not mixed well, it's a pain. Yeah, absolutely. Because basically what mastering does is it amplifies everything. So if there's anything bad in there, you're gonna hear it even more after the master. So it's like, yo, that kind of master. Exactly, they're gonna be like, yo, the master sucks.
But she had the right idea though, because this girl came like 3 times. And she was like, hey, let's keep working on it, let's keep mixing, let's keep, you know. So I was like, okay, you have the right mindset. It's not just done in one sit. You know.
So you think she probably had an idea? If she was so driven, she probably had an idea that there was a chance that it could have been picked up for the show.
No, they probably already knew. Oh, yeah, everybody already knew. That's why they probably spent the time and the energy to make sure this record came out really nice. You know. So I was like, they had the right idea. They sat down. They had the vision for it. They knew what the sound was. They were like, nah, put this up, put this down. Let's do this. Let's do that. I was like, cool. You know. It felt a cool record to work with.
Did you get the proper credit for it? You saw it on the show?
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw the show, but did they mention
we're just like, I think we're like work for hire pretty much.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but as of tagging and stuff like that, and they let us know. We found out, you know, so I was pretty happy with it. And I was just happy to be working a project like that, you know.
Definitely.
You know, and just that network, that connection, because if they do it, you know, you've already worked with them, and maybe you will keep working with them, and if things keep going, you know, it was Netflix once, Netflix twice. Let's go season 2. What is it? What season are they on?
You know
next season, dog.
Real, next season, hell yeah. As far as what would you say is the hardest when you're trying to? Because you're both an artist and a producer, and you have a very specific sound that you like and that you pursue when you're an artist. Is it hard to maybe kind of step out of that genre or that, you know, that box when you're trying to produce for somebody else?
I mean, like someone like her, that was already like I have to sit there and I have to listen to them, because that's their project, that's their thing. Just like I want my sound, like what you said, I want my sound from my sound. I gotta respect what they want. You know, I have my sound, and people love the way my sound is, you know, and they want to put it in their catalog sometimes, you know, and they're like, bro, I want to work with Tony J because that's his sound. Everybody has a sound, but I'm not gonna sit there and be like, do this, do that, because that's what I think is right. That's not right. You know, so I'm very open to, and I've learned to get open and be open to these people, and because that's what you also learn. I don't just open my mind and be like, I learn from everybody, but it's just, there's something to learn from everybody. There is, even if it's just the experience, you know. So I use that as like a main guide when I work with people. It's like, nah, like, yo, esto suena rico, esto suena bien, esto suena así, esto suena así. Suena rico porque tú lo hiciste. ¿Tú me entiendes?
Hell yeah, give that positive information.
Yeah, suena bien porque tú lo hiciste. I like that take. That was a good take. That's when I tell them it's a good take. Not that, yo, I think this is going to be a great take. You feel me? If it's a bad take, I'll be like, nah, it's a bad take and I don't think you should do this. You feel me? That's when I put in my input, when I don't think you should do something like that, because it is not right. You feel me? When it's right, you did it good.
Do you ever have like qualms, or are you ever like, not scared, but maybe intimidated to tell the artist like, hey, that's not working, especially if it's something that maybe they want to do? Maybe it sounds corny, it sounds bad. Like, are you brave enough to tell them like, hey, as someone whom you've hired, who you're paying good money for, I need to tell you that this doesn't sound good?
And no, never, because of the confidence in me. You know, I don't care how many records you've done. I've worked more records than you, put it that way. The day that I'm here, you tracked 4 songs in the last week. I tracked them today. You know what I mean? You came in the studio, so I'm not gonna sit here and be like, nah, I can't be intimidated by this person. It's like, no, bro, I have a professional input into this. That's what I mean. It's not that I've done it more than you. It's just, no, I have to appreciate the fact that I know you've recorded a couple of times. I've recorded a couple of times today. So it's like, I have a professional input in this as well, to be like, yo, what I heard from you, I didn't hear from the last three. Like, you cracked a note, bro. It sounds bad, you know?
Have you ever had an artist or a customer or whatever the case, get offended from your criticism?
Yeah, it happens. It happens like anybody. I would get offended too, you know? But it's just working with the person, and you just, sometimes when that situation does occur, you just sit down and be like, okay, either address this, like the situation, explain why, and there's always an educational reason why he's not like that. And if you explain to them, people start getting reasonable. They're like, oh, yo, bro, the auto-tune broke because the auto-tune's meant to tune you. You know, so if you hear that it broke, it's not the auto tune that's fucked up. You know, it's you out of no, and the auto tune's working to put you back in. He goes, oh, I go, so you have to sing a little bit more in pitch. I have a piano key, and I go, look, this is the key, and I'll be like, yo, match the key with me, and they're like, oh, okay, I like it, and then we just go back and forth with it, and then the take starts to get better. You know, that's all vocal production.
That's when they respect you.
That's when they're like, yo, you're the guy. Thank you for that. Thank you. And they really, yo, I want to work with you, because no one tells me. And my boys go home and they're like, yo, that shit's hard. This is hard. But you tell me, nah, bro, you can sing that one note a little better. The whole song's hard, but just I feel like this little one word, we should fix this little one word. And then this one over here, you feel me? I feel like your breath, you said it because you wanted to take a breath. Let's fix that. Let's go back. So they start seeing you nitpick their song like that. They're like, okay, he just wants better for me. You feel me? It's not just the session. No. It's
trying to control your session. I'm not trying to control you.
Yeah, I'm just trying to help you.
No. And I just have OCD in my mind, dog. I cannot. I'll sit there in the session. I'll be like, okay, I'll even draw them. I go, okay, this is red. I know he messed up here. I know he did this here. And then towards the end of the session, I go, oh my God, I can't leave that, because I know I'm gonna feel. I go, yo, I noticed where he messed up or where he lost words. I'm gonna feel bad if I give that product to the person. I go, no, bro. And if I hear it later, it's gonna bother me. When I hear it later, when he released it exactly how it bothered me, I'm like, nah, I can't, bro. We gotta fix this. I can't. I'm sorry. OCD.
From the perspective of, the business owner, what do you do, when you have a situation like that where, we live in a society where the customer is always right, and you try to you try to literally bend over backwards for the customer, because the customer is paying you, is aiding the business, supporting the business, but what do you do when you have a situation where one of the engineers was genuinely just trying to help the customer, and the customer is offended or sensitive? Have you had that situation?
I mean, we've had situations where, like, the customer isn't happy. It's not necessarily from maybe them trying to help them, but it could be from maybe they didn't click with the engineer, or they preferred the sound. Like he said, everybody has their own sound, and that's true for artists as it is for engineers. Every engineer mixes differently, because there's more than one right way to do it. So Craig's engineering style and sound sounds different from Tony's, which sounds different from mine, which sounds different from Quill's, and every other so sometimes we've had it where artists, they come back and they're like, look, man, I wasn't pleased with the sound I got, this and that. So I try to work with them. For the most part, if it's on us, like if there's discrepancies with the equipment not working right, or the internet disconnecting and stuff, we add and we aid them with it. We had time and all that. A lot of times with engineers, like, if for instance, if they're not happy with the product they got, what I'll do is I'll be like, all right, look, I'm gonna get the files, because the recording we know is clean. Like the equipment we use here is amazing. So I know the recording's amazing. If you didn't like his mix, that's fine. We'll remix it free of charge, and I'll do that myself. And then I just send it to him. That's usually what I do. I try to get them a great product, because it's not just about getting your money back or getting you more time. It's about them leaving happy with something that they invested their time into. You know what I'm saying? It happens from time to time. It's not a common thing, because our engineers are the best engineers on the planet. And I stand by that. But it's just, again, it comes down to maybe they just don't like this person's style or this person's sound, and everybody's different. Everybody has their own thing. So, but we handle it, man. Where I'm huge. I'm a big, like, customer service oriented person, and I learned that from AT&T and being a tour guide and all that. And so are the folks here. You feel me? Everybody here is great vibes. Like he was saying, we're all around the same age. We all have goals, and we're not just sitting back doing nothing. You feel me? We're trying to pursue it. So we all have that winner's mentality. At the end of the day, we're here to work together, and get the best product, like, for ourselves and for them too.
I see it as just music, bro. Just making great music.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, yeah, customer service, that's his business. I see it as great music. There's gonna be a lot of people that are gonna put in my way and be like, he did it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's how I see it. You feel me? I'm trying to put music out, and I'm like, Tony J, and some guy goes, he made my song. Yeah. He helped me get this one. He helped me, dog, and you start seeing how many people point in your direction. Craig. It's Craig. Everybody starts going like this. You're like, bro, it's a lot of people pointing my direction. So I'm just trying to make good music.
You don't want to fuck up now. You don't want to make a mistake.
You don't want to make a mistake now.
Like, oh man, you heard that one song though? Like,
you don't. That's it. Once you start working like hard and you're like, yo, I want people to know who I am. I start making sure your songs sound good, as good, because Tony did it. You feel me? So Tony sounds good everywhere. You know, that's how I see it.
In a place where everybody honestly gets along so well, and you know, there's enough for everybody to eat, which is beautiful. Is there ever any tension if kind of like how we were talking about, you know, if a customer is ever unhappy or whatever the case? Is there any tension if, for example, you know, last week you record with a certain person, or a certain person records with you, and then this week they want to work with Craig or Quill or somebody else?
No.
There's no tension?
No, I'm actually the guy to be like, yo, you should get your stuff mixed by that guy. I tracked your stuff. I got it to the best I could. You give it to the next guy. That guy's gonna find what I couldn't find.
Wow.
And he's gonna enhance it something. And then I also like to bounce the money around, you know, because you feel me? It just makes everything happier. Somebody once told me that. Somebody once told me as soon as I got here, and it wasn't just to say it, it was wise words, and I was like, you're right. You feel me? It's just bouncing money around, just makes everybody happy. Everybody's happy. We're all eating. We all look healthy. More people are prone to come here and be like, okay, this is a good board place to work with. You know?
Wow.
Yeah, I'm actually really happy with the way that, because most, really, if not, I think the entire team feels like that. Where it's like they don't take you personally. And I always, when clients ask for the engineer, I always try to get them that engineer, and if they can't do it, I'll be like, look, he can't do it. Do you want to try to reschedule, or do you want to work with somebody different?
Do you ask for like, hey, what's your sound like, so you can kind of like base it off that?
Like if they ask like, all right, look, I do this style of music, who would you recommend? I'm like, all right, cool. Like with Tony the other day, because an artist, she was yeah, she wanted to work, you know, I'm like, and she does, you know, R&B, so I was like, yeah, man, Tony, Alex, those would be great. You know, I know everybody has their different styles, and some of their strong suits are better in this genre or with this person than, you feel what I'm saying? So it's like, I know he's great with R&B singers. So but again, going back to what he was saying, like, I'm so happy that I think like all the team feels that same way. You feel me? Like, we're all here to eat. We are here to, you feel me? We know that there's enough for everybody. You feel me? And we've been getting even more booked now than ever. So it's like there's definitely enough for everybody to you know, move around and eat.
And that's a talent in itself, because not everybody can put their ego aside to be like, hey, you know what, like Craig's great for that, you know, Tony's great for that.
Not everybody did before, you know. We had a few team members here.
Not to mention any names.
Not to point any fingers.
But you gotta know your position. You just gotta know your position. When you play for a team, it's hard to know your position. Everybody wants to kick the goal. Everybody wants to shoot. Everybody, but no, bro. You just gotta know what you're good at. You're tall, that's what you do. That's it. You're freaking fast, that's what you do.
There's no one-man teams. Even boxers have a corner. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you gotta definitely.
You gotta know.
You said that you know, your dad, given that his knowledge in the music industry, he definitely kind of like guided you into this direction. A lot of people have the opposite to say. You know, a lot of people don't have the support of their parents when they're trying to pursue something as you know, as risque as, you know, the performing industry. What was your experience as far as with that, with having a father that you know, that pushed you in the direction, as opposed to trying to talk you out of it?
I mean, it's not easy of itself though, because it's like, let's say if your doctor's like, I mean, like if your dad's this neurosurgeon, this guy's like the freaking baddest doctor ever. You know, he wants you to be a doctor too. And he's like, yeah, I want you to be the greatest doctor. You're like, I want to be a pediatrician, but I want to be a doctor who's not as great as you, or something. Like, they have this mindset, this goal for you, because he's living his life a certain way. So they just want the best for you, and then what they think the best is for you, and they set this expectation for you. And that's literally, I'm saying, I guess out of experience. You hear the anger in my voice, because I guess that was me as a little kid. So like this expectation, and like you just got off stage and and you did this, and you should have done that, and you're like, oh my God, like it becomes really hard to handle. You're like, dude, that's why I told you, like, I became serious after I stepped out of that whole, like, my dad life and my whole thing. And like I went to the real world, and I just had real people talk to me differently and accept me a different way. The help that he, musically, bro, the help was there everywhere, every corner I went. I was involved in music in school. He forced that upon me. I was like, I'm not taking band class. That's like not the cool kid class, you know. And he was like, you're not gonna live in my house if you're not gonna take band class, because you're making money off of this.
That's
and
so
you're not
dope.
and you're not gonna make money off this and not understand what you're doing, you know. So he's like, you're gonna take band class. So it was very like you know, strict, like army parents, you know, like army parents. I want you to be, and he's a soldier. He was a band dad, you know. And he was like, yo, a practicar ahora. Terminaste la tarea, vamos a practicar una hora, and let's get your chops up.
It wasn't more so supporting you because you wanted it. It was more so because he wanted it.
He wanted me to be great. And I'm like, okay, fuck.
Like your biggest fan, and
my son.
You see my son? You see my son? My son good. Hey, do it again. Do it again.
So kind of like your biggest fan and also your harshest critic.
Yeah, big time. Biggest fan, harshest critic.
Okay.
But then now that's it. Like he learned, because like I have this whole music going on, and I have this whole thing where I'm like this free writer now, and I've written for a lot of people. So he's learned to like accept my writing now. He hears some of my songs, he goes, you know, because of the things I say and the things I talk about compared to the music he does, la salsa linda que él hace, and I'm over here talking about crazy shit, you know. He goes, ooh, and more the people I work with, he learned to accept the music, because of course he's in music, so he knows there's different types of music. So then after a while, él se soltó. He's like, haz lo tuyo. So he was my harshest critic growing up, but now he's just total support. What else do you need? That's all he asked me now. What else do you need?
Wow. What would you say is something that as of right now you wish that you could tell yourself when you were just starting out?
Have patience. There's a lot of stuff that I did that were just like, because I didn't think it would happen, or it would take so long, you know, or it's been taking this long. It's my story. Everyone has a story. But like everybody just like chopping at it, and it's like, yo, relax sometimes. You feel me? You're gonna stress yourself out, you're gonna overwork yourself, you know, and it's better to just relax sometimes than to overwork yourself and work trash later, you know, because you're tired or stuff like that. That was me. Just have patience. Another thing is I would tell myself, practice a little more, like everybody else, practice a little more, because I would play around a lot. So I'll just be like, yo, practice a little more. I wish I was more like dotado in piano. I play piano, but dude, I wish I would have went on some competitions or you know, and done crazy shit. But I had my talent. I was in bands. You feel me? I did marching. I marched state. I did a bunch of things that just, you know, I can't take away from that. But it's just practice more. Stop playing around so much. So have patience and just keep practicing more. And having patience is why I didn't practice more, because you can't just sit there and practice for an hour. You feel me? You have to have a lot of patience to do that. So I would have told myself, have patience.
Okay. Every single week, we have a segment for those of you who listen called Craig's Movie Reviews. And I just kind of want to know, Craig's kind of like, he's surprised that I brought it up. Mr. Respeto, what do we got for the listeners this week? I know we were watching something.
Can I Google some?
I got some.
We got a backup if anything. Huh?
They Live.
They Live.
Yeah, it's an old movie.
Yeah. They Live.
What is it about?
Yes, you see it on the screen.
It's about a guy who finds some glasses, and he puts the glasses on, and he looks at everything, and everything's changing.
What?
Oh, so he was doing LSD.
The glasses, yeah, they did. You know? They had some LSD on them.
You know?
Yeah.
They Live.
They Live.
I've never heard of that. It's on Netflix?
Yeah.
Huh. Okay, definitely. Well, you see it on, and also, is it 1 thumb up, 2 thumbs up, thumbs down? What is it?
2 thumbs up.
2 thumbs up. Damn. Well, you gotta recommend it. And I know, right before we started, we caught a couple minutes of Dave Chappelle's 846 as well.
Yeah, man. Yep. That's phenomenal.
Did you get a chance to watch that?
Yeah, like 2 minutes though.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was in between.
I watched, I think, to maybe a little over half of it, but it's some powerful stuff.
Stuff.
He's speaking truth, dog. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy how all that happened. And I see what you were talking about, how it's not so much on the, I mean, he still has comedy in it,
but it's more so on the woke shit.
Really dope.
And it's insane as far as the whole the fact that this man had his knee on his neck for 8 minutes and 46 seconds. Yo, an MMA round is 5 minutes, and that's insane. And like the fact that 8 fucking minutes is just an astronomical amount of time. I don't know if you saw, they recently found one of the officers just shopping around because they made bail, and they were just shopping around, and they like filmed them, and he tried to play the victim. He's like, oh, I'm not comfortable, I'm just getting necessities and blah blah blah. It's like, nah, bro, you shouldn't be out in public.
That's crazy. I mean, and it's just so much that goes behind it, bro. It's not just about the biggest part, I feel, is the racism behind it, but then it also comes down to, you know, officers feeling that they can, you know, do whatever they want and that they're above the law. And the reason they feel like that is because to some degree they are, bro. The way the system is made is it lets them get away with so much, and that it has to be reformed. Like, we have to change that, bro. And aside from that, cops are afraid. They're afraid to speak up against each other. Yep. Because they get in trouble for that shit.
They do.
You know, and he was just talking, Dave was talking about, you know, how a cop was fired for making a complaint about another officer who used too much force on somebody who's handcuffed. He was fired for complaining to his higher ups about that. That's ridiculous.
There was a female cop who made a complaint about the George Floyd incident, and they ignored her.
No, bro.
Like,
what? Like, cops that talk about other cops that complain to
they're silenced.
Officers in their same district, they're gonna hate you.
Oh yeah.
What type of crap is that, bro? Like, y'all are supposed to serve and protect, and all y'all doing is protecting each other. You're not protecting the people that y'all serve, or you're supposed to be serving. So there's just so much that has to be changed, bro. It has to be altered, and you know, the biggest upset about you know, these riots, and bro, like, people are upset about people rioting when you're missing the fact that, bro, these riots are building up. It's a buildup of anger
of years,
of people who have been getting murdered, and nothing has happened to the murderers.
Yeah.
You feel me? People always, oh yeah, well, when this guy kills this guy, oh, nobody says anything, but when a cop kills him, bro, because when one dude kills another, he's going to jail. When a cop kills somebody, it's iffy. You don't know if he's going to jail. That's not fucking right, bro. A mother shouldn't have to cry about her son dying and not even know whether the person that killed her son is going to go to jail or not. That's
no
ridiculous.
You
feel what I'm saying? That's stupid. That's just stupid. So there's a lot, but that show.
Consider yourself more American than Colombian?
Yeah, of course. I've been to Colombia many times. I've lived over there sometimes, but no, I went to high school, middle school here, perfect English. I graduated college here, so I'm way more American than anything else. I would love to bring that culture to something new, you know, like we have reggaeton artists that live here now, you know, they live in Brickell, they live here and stuff like that. So I feel I bring a lot to their table now because the simple fact that we are American, you know, so it's something new to that genre.
Have you gotten a chance to perform outside of Miami?
Yeah.
How was that? Where have you gone? Tell me about that.
Well, mostly a lot of the places is here in the United States. They've literally taken like a hold of me. They love it. You feel me? I've done festivals here, Tampa, Atlanta. I've done.
How's Atlanta?
Atlanta's pretty cool. Yeah? Atlanta's really nice.
I heard the audience is very
different people. As of Latin, different people, because it's not as diverse as Miami is, of course, but then there was a niche. Once you knew who they were, that's it, bro. It's like, oh, mira el niñito ese que canta, oh, el niño que canta, so I was just going bar to bar singing, and it was pretty cool. I had my time.
Have you gone to New York?
Yeah, I've gone to New York, but not to perform.
Just to hang out. And I love asking this question to people who've gotten the chance to go to New York. What do you feel is the main difference as far as the audience, not the audience, but I guess just the people in general from New York and Miami? I kind of get this vibe that in New York, they're almost a little bit more supportive of like local artists. I could be mistaken. It's just been my personal experience. What about you? For
me, I feel like Miami I'm gonna talk about Miami because I know Miami. I don't know New York. So for Miami, why you feel like there probably isn't support is just because of the amount of cultures that there are here. I'll go back to that. The amount of cultures that there are here. It's hard to support a football team because you don't like football porque a ti te gusta pelota. Porque yo soy de aquí, me gusta la pelota, so you support Miami Marlins. Okay. And then tú eres de España, so a mí me gusta el fútbol. Y aquí no hay fútbol. So it's like, okay, no va a ningún partido.
Well, Miami, Beckham's team.
Ahora sí. Oh my God, I went to Dolphin Mall and I got super excited to see a jersey there. I was like, yo, they're in the Adidas store now, so I got happy. But you know what I mean? So then that's what happens in the music. There's so much happening. Like, I guess New York, you know, you have concentrates of people that like they're almost the same, you know. There's Dominicans, there's Puerto Ricans. Here you have Venezuelans, Cubans, Dominicans, Puerto Ricans, Mexicans. You have them all. So it's like everybody has their own. So then when they come to award shows here, they like now the Latin award shows are very broad, regional, urbana, salsa, cosas así. You feel me? Because of the amount of cultures there is. So when you come over here, come to a concert, you have to be really big because of the broadness of like, you feel me, a fan base that they are here. You have to be really big because if you're little, it's going to be a little club and you got to bang that club. That's how I see it. You feel me? Because it's your fan base. Your fan base is going to pack house. And that's how they are, you know? And then our venues, we don't have big venues. We have just like maybe the AAA and then I think the Pro Player Stadium.
And the Hard Rock.
You know? So it's not very cheap to book it. Like if he wants to go book it tomorrow, bro, it's not very cheap.
That's hella.
It's just not very cheap. So it's hard for us to put up a venue like that. You feel me?
Yeah.
But then you go to New York and there's a bunch of venues, you feel me? Like a bunch of theaters, a bunch of things that you can go pack house, you can go do this here, you can go do that here. You know, we have Manuel Artime here. We have a theater we can pack house in.
Yeah.
We have a couple of little ones. So I've seen it and it's like, okay, where can we find, and maybe, I don't know if ill-logicz, it was hard for him. It was like, where do we do our shows? You feel me? If we're independent artists, how do we book a venue where we have a show to do, you know?
Where did we do the album? Was it the Lighthouse?
Yeah, the Lighthouse.
The Lightbox.
That was a fire. That was a dope spot.
So that's our spot. It was like, where do we book a venue so we can pack house? You know, where do we do this? So we have to go around Miami and start looking places. It's not just like, okay, these are the venues. You know?
Do you think that Miami will ever, and kind of this applies to Craig and Ill, and if you want to shout out any questions, feel free. But do you think that Miami will ever kind of have the artistic identity that New York or Chicago has?
It does right now, though. It does.
You think so?
This is a melting pot for Latin music. This is like I can tell you where like the reggaeton's made by like sections. I'll be like, bro, these niggas are making it over there in Brickell. These dudes over there in Highland Gardens are doing this. These dudes over there by Coral Gables are doing this song. And I can tell you, like, Miami right now is a melting pot for Latin music. And it's like, that's why I'm telling you, it's really hard right now because it's like, you have to be big because there's so many people coming here right now to work that it's like, okay, let's just take it, throw it to Latin America. You feel me? That's how we see it right now. It's easier to make it here. It's cheaper to make it here right now, you know, because then Medellin became that like 7 years ago, you know, and that's how Nicky Jam popped. He was in Medellin, he was over there loving it, so it became expensive to make music over there. All the producers started going up and all the videographers started going up. They're like, now where do we go now? So Miami was pretty reasonable to work with, you know. And
Craig, Ill?
Yeah, it'd be just as much as it already is.
It's like a melting pot. I feel like Miami, I feel like Miami is huge, bro. Everybody musically, everybody, and then everybody almost knows each other here. That's how I feel. Like I know who's making.
Yeah, comparing it to New York stuff. I mean, I've only been to New York once. It's amazing. But as far as like the talent goes, I feel like Miami definitely does have just as much talent as New York. But I mean, again, the differences in, I feel like in skill or in talent comes in like championships. But when you think about like basketball players, like amazing like Allen Iverson, like who's amazing but may not have a ring, or doesn't have some great basketball players that don't have as many rings as.
So talking about the names coming out of Miami,
you know.
Well, South Florida gives out good football players.
You know, when it comes down to it, New York has a lot more famous people, artists than Miami does. You feel what I'm saying? Not to say Miami doesn't, because we have Pitbull.
Facts.
Isn't Rick Ross from here too?
Yeah, Rick Ross, Trick Daddy.
But New York is like, they have a whole bunch more. So it's like, who are you going to remember more? Yeah. Who are you going to remember more? Like Allen Iverson or Michael Jordan? You feel me? I mean, not to compare them. Michael Jordan was the best. Yeah, Michael Jordan's the best of all time. But you know what I'm saying? Like New York, because they have more, you know, famous people, they may be seen as like, people look at them, they're like, oh, New York has way more talent than everywhere else. And it's like, well, I mean, they have great talent, but Miami has a huge arsenal of talented people, and not just artists, you know, like he said, Latin artists, rappers, break dancers, but we have everything here. So there's so many cultures here for it not to be an amazing spot to be entertained with whatever it is that you get entertained with. You feel what I'm saying? So I think we're a great city, bro, and I think, you know, we're still growing and we're still learning. As far as like the support system here goes, it could be better, but you know, like you said, it is what it is. And but I think this is a great city.
I love Miami. Like, I love your sign. You know, I'm a big Miami dude, dog. Yeah. Huge. Like, Miami is like, yeah.
Do you see yourself like living in Miami forever?
Not forever, because of course I'd like to move, see the other city.
Yeah.
Nah, not forever, because you know I want to go
till I die.
305, it is 305 till I die. It is 305, but it's just done. It's just sometimes, you know, I want to go see the world. Sometimes, you feel me? I want to go live somewhere else, experience some cultures, take a break, because people like to vacation. You know, it's just a long vacation. Maybe I see it as from people here, primos, primas, tías, people you want to run away from, dog. And yeah. But Miami, dude, I feel like Miami, like I go to different other places, I come back home and I go, but there's nothing like, you know, like the cafeterias here. There's nothing like, you know, there's nothing, the food and I don't know.
Yeah, that flavor, that kind of like Miami spice isn't anywhere else, you know.
I have a sister that moved to North Carolina. And she asked like every 2 weeks now, send me a box of stuff that they sell here in Serranos, you know? She's like, send me sazones that they, all of that. Because it's like, I can't get away from it. We can't get away from Miami.
No.
We can't get away from Miami. And then now I'm going to talk about Miami like that. Like, I'm from Miami and I'm Colombian, you know? My girl's from Cuba. And she took me to Cuba for the first time, right?
Oh,
and then
when?
That was last year.
Nice.
So then I'm in Cuba, right? And I'm like, dude, I start seeing why Miami is a certain way, because I go to my country and I see, you know, but I'm used to it, so it's like it's normal to me to go to Colombia and see there's some of the same things here because it's my family and the things, so it's almost normal. But then when I go step outside of my norm, I go, that's why there's certain things in my city that look like this, that's why there's houses that look like this, because that's their normal. And I didn't appreciate Miami a certain way, so I started stepping out of and appreciating people that come to Miami and bring their culture to my city. You know, and I was like, whoa, that's pretty cool. You know, I was like, damn, that's why people are like that in Miami. That's why people talk like this. That's why people eat this. That's why this exists. You know, I'm like, damn, pretty cool.
How long were you in Cuba for?
2 weeks.
And was there was there any sort of like culture shock? I'm assuming you mostly spoke Spanish.
But Spanish is
if you ever spoke English, or if they just listened to your Colombian accent, could
this is what I'm saying though. Like no, this is what I'm saying though. Like I went to Cuba and I was already used to hearing Cubans speak. It's not like you went somewhere else to another country and like it was a culture shock. Nah, bro, it felt like I was listening to my neighbor talk. You feel me? So hey, I was like, you know, I'm probably just in the wrong side of town. That's what it felt like. So that's where it was. It wasn't a culture shock. It was I appreciated, and I came back to Miami, and now I appreciate Cubans more here in Miami because it's like, whoa, you feel me? I've been to your town, and I see why you guys are the way you are here in Miami. You know, or talk the way you talk, or dress the way you dress. It's just, you feel me? That's who you are.
How's Is the food relatively the same, or is it kind of like an appropriation of Cuban Miami, or is the actual Cuban food a little bit different?
I mean, there's a Cuban Miami here, you know?
Yeah, of course.
And then there's a Cuba over there. They have different ingredients, different things. You feel me? Their countries have different regulations.
Yeah.
So their cooking is way different. Like you get over there and it'll be the same plate, but it doesn't taste the same. Like I was over there and I was like all over the cucumbers. Because I was like, yo, these cucumbers do not taste the same like the ones in the States. I was like, yo, estos tienen un sabor. Un sabor diferente.
Were they pickled cucumbers?
No. It was you taste the cucumber. Like here, I don't know, I feel them like watery, less tasty. They're just bland tasty. Over there, bro, you taste a cucumber and it tasted like the cucumber. Like if you were to eat cucumber candy, you're like, it's an exaggeration of a flavor. You're like, I'm not used to that. You feel me?
Craig knows all about that. That's like fake vegetables, bro. That's hormones in there, bro.
Yeah, but maybe
Craig,
like he knows about that. Like certain fruits in like your native land taste differently. You're like, damn, man, este mango aquí.
Bro.
You feel me? That's how I felt. Like Cuba was totally different. Their food was different.
Even the meat too. Like when you go to DR and you eat the meat over there, it's way different.
It's fresher.
What?
It's fresher. It's a little island. It's a little island, so it's not gonna take months for that.
The government in my country is too poor to be injecting what they inject.
Nah,
so they're like, yo, we can't afford to inject them with steroids, so just grow them. Like, don't worry, breed them. Bro, it tastes so much better.
Yeah.
Like, in Colombia, there's like carniceros, like legit carniceros, like dude's house, and that guy's over there outside of his house chopping up meat for you, and that's food. Like, bro, that tastes great. You feel me? and then like killing chickens right then and there, and it's like poof.
That's fresh, boy. That's fresh.
Right, it's totally different than what we eat here. I don't know.
Yeah, that's wild.
I go to Walmart and just buy food. No shout out to them.
Is there anything that maybe you do, you know, that people wouldn't normally know about you? Maybe like a hobby that you do when you're not you know, recording, you know, doing music, anything like that? Is there something that you like to do on your off time?
Is there something I do?
Well, one thing that's notable about him being a reggaetonero is, I mean, aside from all the great trait he has, but just in this interview, I noticed and I started to realize that a lot of like reggaetoneros have a very thick accent, and sometimes it's hard to communicate with them, and he doesn't, so that's great.
That's
true. It makes it so much easier to have interviews and to converse with people because you'll be hearing Bad Bunny, and it's like, dude, I love your music. But maybe you should get a Spanish interview or something.
I need subtitles.
Subtitles.
You know what I'm saying?
Where's the translator? We need
for real, bro. I would not want to do the subtitles for that video because you have to do every single word, and it's like I wouldn't be able to.
No. And there's people that get shocked that they speak English. Like reggaetoneros speak English. Almost all reggaetoneros speak English.
Of course.
No, what do you mean? They're Puerto Ricans though. They're Puerto Ricans. They're you know what I mean? They're Puerto Ricans. They have English like they're almost like a second language. They go to school and they learn it. So it's like they have no excuse. They have no excuse. And then people get shocked like, oh my God, they speak English. And you're like, what do you mean? They're Puerto Rican.
They should.
What do you mean? They're gonna speak English. They speak English. It's not good because they choose to speak Spanish as the first language. You know what I mean? To stay true. But they all speak English.
How do you find your balance as far as like do you record all your music in Spanish or all of it?
All of it.
You haven't done a single track in English?
I've probably done one or two. It's just to push myself out of my comfort zone.
And you didn't like how they turned out?
Nah, it's just I'm wired differently already. Like my mind is wired differently. My phone's in Spanish. You know, like I speak English. Yeah. I recently just switched it. Like I got a new phone, but till then, ask her. Till like a couple months ago that I just got this phone, I would always be in Spanish. It would always be in Spanish, and then I go home, so everything's in Spanish. So I learned how to keep my two lives away from each other.
Are you the one that keeps switching the computers to Spanish?
Yeah, that's my Gmail.
Yeah,
that's my Gmail. Who else?
Craig is like, this damn Gmail. Craig's like, what the fuck is going on?
I just leave it on Spanish.
I didn't even have the muscle memory of this. I'd be so pissed right now, bro. I've noticed it.
Yeah, because my Gmail's in Spanish. So I don't switch it. I just sign into my Gmail, and my bad for that. It automatically everything translates.
I've been like, who the hell? I mean, I understand it.
Now my Gmail is like, yo, are you
I thought it was Craig.
Now Craig is like, Inicio.
Do you speak Spanish?
Yeah. Inicio.
Yo.
He's like, I'm gonna put in my contraseña.
For real.
Bro, we found the culprit now.
Sorry,
found the culprit live on air too.
I don't know.
Yeah. Even dog, everything. Spanish.
Yeah,
wired differently, dog. So I can't even. I sit there and like I try to write English and I track English people all day, you know. But then as soon as I write something English, I go, that sounds corny, you know. And I'm done with that. I'm done. I go, nah. I have more confidence in myself in Spanish because I've heard myself a million times. So I guess that's just me. I'm wired.
Did you start already from doing it in Spanish?
Yeah, because when I was young, and all the music I was hearing, so all the lyrics and stuff that bro, it's all in my head. So to me, like I always think like music is in the air. Like you feel me? Like I wake up and I'm shocked that people like me and Cash, you feel me, that have like a song in their head when they wake up. They go to sleep and dude, a song existed now. It didn't exist 8 hours ago. You know, we have that. I just feel like music's in the air. I hear a chord and I go, the words are already there. You feel me? I've heard so many songs before that I go, bro, you just grab this word, and there goes your sentence. Next sentence. Grab this word, grab this. That's how I see Spanish. So I can't do that in English. I don't know. I can't freestyle in English either.
How much of your clientele base would you say is recurring people that you've worked with before, and people that are kind of giving you a try for the first time?
It's really hard not to get somebody coming back.
Yeah,
I see it like that. It's really hard. Like, it's really like I feel like everybody is I get new ones and they just become recurrent. You know, because I personalize their music. It becomes my music. You feel me? Yeah. Once I worked your song, it's my song. I worked on your song. You don't just come here and you pay me, you disappear. No, we worked on the song together. They're like, yeah, you did your part, I did my part, and then it's your song, of course. But it's like one of your babies. You feel me? Like they go away and you're like, I worked on that song. You know? So like I personalize with them. I tell everybody, tag me. I like seeing numbers, you know, because if it's not my numbers, you're getting numbers. I go, wow, I worked on that song. It makes it believable. I can keep going, you know. So I like people tag me. They post, do this, do that. So people like that. People like feeling like, you know, it's not just a job to you. You're their friend. You actually care about their music. Sure. You care. So that's where I feel like people start recurring. They become recurring clients. Once you start caring, you care about their music. You just don't care about just making bread.
Of course.
You know?
Who would you consider as like the godfather of reggaeton? Is that like a Daddy Yankee? Who's
Yeah, but I have one guy that he's not the godfather, and he's just one guy that I see his work, and I grew up watching him work, like physically, and I saw him grow, and I was like, okay, this is the step I'm gonna take. I'm gonna like, you know, I saw him do it, and it's realistic, and the way he worked, just the way he worked, and the amount of clients he had, his name's Motif. Okay. He's done a lot of big names. Mark Anthony. He did Se Formó la Gozadera. Miami me lo confirmo. I have pictures. He was like my age, 21, playing my dad's band, and I'm playing next to him. I've seen him grow, and I was like, yo, the way he presented himself as an artist, and bro, this guy had worst dress one year in the Latin billboards. Worst dress, because he went ridiculous. But he shined. Yeah, and I was like, yo, this guy is like nuts. He loved like the attention. I was like, yo, I like that. That was cool inspiration. So I've always had godfathers and stuff like that, but I try to always find more realistic standpoints of, like, you feel me, I'll be like Daddy Yankee, but he could just be a picture to me. Of course. You know, I haven't met the guy yet, you know. I've seen him in person, but I've never met the guy yet to be like, yo, I want to be like that guy. I always show somebody I saw did what I wanted to do.
And if you could kind of, your top 3 artists, regardless of, you know, you've met them or not, just as far as you listening to them, who would you say these top 3 artists kind of like molded the artist that I am today?
Don Omar, for sure. Don Omar. You hear it in my voice. I think you hear it in my colors. You hear it in my things, like that dude. Everybody either grew up with, is it like Don Omar or Daddy Yankee? I grew up with Don Omar. I chose the dark side. I was like, yo, this dude is talking about like real shit. You feel me? And
I see him in the costume
you feel me? Like he's the hard one. Dale, don, dale. Que se mueve. You feel me? I was like, yo, that's hard. You feel me? And then I saw him live on stage, and that's where I was like, yo, I want to be like that guy, because he's so controlled of the crowd. Like this guy, like there's guys that jump around and do whatever. This guy's literally like he's rapping super fucking fast, and he's taking 2-3 steps. Yeah. And he's just there, and he's just it feels like easy to him. He's not even breaking a sweat. You're like, how? You feel me? This guy's jumping and getting the crowd guy, and this guy just goes, yo, la mano arriba, and everybody goes, ah, and you go, he didn't move. You're like, how are they so excited with him raising his hand, asking you to raise your hand, and you got excited? I was like, that guy is raw. That's a god. So that's one. That's Don Omar. Another guy is Mark Anthony. This is the total opposite. This guy jumps around, dances around the stage, twirls, jumps, gets on a helicopter. Totally different guy. And you just see that. You're like, wow, that was like, I learned of Michael Jackson, and then I didn't live the era. We lived the Mark Anthony early 2000s when he was popping off, where all the records were hitting, and I thought, like J-Lo, and you're thinking, wow, this guy's a classic. No, this guy's like 28, and this guy was living it now, and you're like, damn, Mark Anthony. And then now he lives on. Mark Anthony for sure. So that's 2 different. That's reggaeton, that's salsa. My third one, Bruno Mars.
Wow, I did not expect that one. Yeah,
Bruno Mars.
For real?
Yeah, Bruno Mars.
Elaborate a little bit on that.
The sound, the musicality.
That's brew. That's brew.
Yeah, you can. It's brew, bro. You can. Exactly the same way, just like, you know. And then just his creative, the way who he is, the way he presents himself, how clean he is with everything. Everything's like so sharp. His clothes is always so well.
He owned that fedora.
Dude, like he's so sharp. You feel me?
He took over the world with Lucky. You remember Lucky?
Yo, someone I see like him in Spanish is like Prince Royce. You feel me? Someone that's always sharp, bro. Sharp. I go, that's awesome. You feel me? So I try to take 3 out of, like, you feel me? And then 1 completely left. But then it cleans them all up. I felt like it was Bruno Mars. His music is so clean. It's so like, bro, like, he can have 5 instruments in the track, and the track's huge, and you hear everything precisely in the right frequencies it's supposed to be. And it's just his music and everything's so clean about him. I was like, damn, that's dope. Don Omar was just like the crazy dark side. This one was like the diva, and this one's the clean. And I was like, yo, these 3 are the way that I was like, okay, I want to work like these guys. You know?
Dang. Before we wrap up, I wanted to ask you: are you? Is there anything that you're currently working on? Maybe anything that you released recently that our listeners can be on the lookout for? I'd love to put on a video. Is there any video that we can watch?
Yeah, on YouTube we have the video right now. You can put it on. It's the one I just released right now. It's actually, I dropped a track randomly because I have an EP coming out Friday.
Turn it on. And what's it called?
Everything was recorded, mixed here in Asylum, except for one song which was done by Mixed by Oso, and that was in Medellin. I sent it out. I had to send it out. But we networked. I try to get people. I'm trying to get those dudes out here. You know how many times I tell this dude, yo, bro, fly to Miami. He said, bro, he's from Canada. The guy's from Canada. I work with some Canadian dudes from like a long time ago. And then he flies to Colombia. I go, but you land here and then you leave. Why don't you stay here 2-3 days, dog? I fight with this guy. He's like, see. I don't know. I just wasn't on my video.
Yeah.
Tony J.
And it's funny because I be walking by the break room, and his video's playing in the break room. I'm like, Tony, you ain't slick. I know you put that.
I put it on and walk away.
Putting it up on the break room. I
put it on, walk away, so people walk in the studio and they go, oh stuff.
God, who's this?
You feel me? You know how many? I started doing. You know how many people started? Yo, I saw your video. Yo, I've seen your face somewhere. I've seen your page. Right, yo, I'm getting people subliminally a lot. Like you know,
you got that full-time screensaver on there. You know.
Absolutely.
I be doing that. Yesterday I was at the gas station and then I go to put gas and then I tell the lady, I go, yo, 977. Well, let me tell the story right. There was two people standing right before me and they were about to play Cash 3 or the Lotto, and she was like, wait, let me get them first because you guys are gonna play. She's like, okay, so I go to the window and I go 977. Okay, I go 977 and I say it loud in the gas station. I threw up numbers, bro. There was two people about to play the Lotto. They go 977. Jot it down. I was like, yo, you never know what. I was like, yeah, so you just throw stuff in the universe. You never know what's good. And
wait up. Let's put it a little bit higher.
Yeah, let's start over.
So that's what I do to people here. I'm like, man, subliminally, I'm going to just start putting me up everywhere. I'm going to start doing things, put my sticker, put my name. So people will be like, yo, I've seen you somewhere.
All right, let's watch this here video by Tony J.
Yeah.
It's called High. And that's like
this was shot by Ideas by what?
Ideas. What
was it?
Why Diaz?
Why Diaz? This was shot by Ideas, bro.
Yes,
Joel Gonzalez.
For sure. And it's called High, and not high like the greeting, high like the marijuana side effect.
Word.
I know that guy.
I know him.
I know that jacket.
Oh, wait a minute. Where'd you
I know
get
that jacket. Where'd you get that jacket, Where'd you get that jacket? Where'd you get them shades?
That's that McZen. Okay.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Where'd you get that wardrobe? Hey. Can we talk during this?
Yeah, sure. The only thing is that the audio is better if we don't, but we already did so. I like the mic hanging down.
Dude.
How'd you get it hanging like that?
No, we just put it through the roof. You know the roof? Nah. We just literally, you know the little thing right here? That little thing that separates the... Yeah, we just threw it right over it.
Like Mike that shit with the sneakers.
Yeah, we just like Mike that shit. There's literally...
So it's like a room.
It's a room, that's it. This
I
is no
fuck with the lights in the background. They're pretty pricey.
That's it. We didn't know what to do because we were going to shoot 3 videos and we didn't know what to do with the lights. So the lights, literally, we threw them on the backdrop, see what it did, and we did that.
Yeah.
We literally threw them like if they're leaning on the backdrop. They're like if not, they would have fell.
Nah, it works.
Yeah, it's dope.
That's what I want to stress, like the simplicity of it. You feel me?
Yeah.
It's clean, it's straight to the point, and you start looking at my videos, and you start seeing like, okay, he's doing this, and he's doing it organically. You know, like the video before that one was Escapa. I borrowed my boss's car. You feel me? I was like, yo, bro, I need a car now. I'm gonna shoot a video in like tomorrow. What's up? Your car's new, it's clean. He's like, all right, go. I took the car, we shot a video. This one was a backdrop. You feel me? They're working. You feel me? That's how I see it. I have good music, they're working. Consistency is what's gonna get us somewhere.
Looking at my man, watching out for his employees. He's
look at my dog over here.
You can use the whip.
Nah, man, not like that. You feel me?
To the keys.
But like, I see it as like, it could have been a Lambo. You know, like it could have been a Bentley. But it was like, nah, bro, it's a Mustang. You feel me? Very simple. Very, you feel me? The studio after that, I use a studio. Bro, that like, it's not... We're just trying to get work done, and it's working, you know?
How long you had the Slim Shady do for?
About 2 weeks.
Nice.
2 weeks. I was gonna do it again.
So Did you bleach it kind of like the Stan music video? Very dramatic. I would have done it very dramatic.
What do you mean?
You don't know in Stan in the music video, he's like dyeing his hair and he's like having an
emotional
breakdown.
Okay. No.
Where did you walk off to after?
Yeah, High
right.
by Tony.
What did I walk off to?
Where did you walk off to after?
Directed by
The set just the way it ended, so I fell. I just where did you walk off to? I fell. I just went whoop. No, bro, I can't. That hair dye burns, bro. So it was very dramatic. Like, get it off me. That shit burns, dog. That shit.
Damn,
that song was great.
Beautiful.
Huh?
That song was great.
That song's dope.
Really
that song's done by Karloff. Karloff's the one that did La Cartera by Bad Bunny and Farruko. Tú sabes que yo ando siempre con la cartera. Yeah. He's the one that produced that track. He produced this one. He's produced a bunch for Plan B and Justin Quiles. So that's a big name to have.
Do you ever have you gotten to the point where you don't get intimidated by, you know, the big names?
No.
You just kind of like you look forward to working with them, you know, getting those creative juices flowing.
Yeah, to me it's just music.
So
it's just music. I'm at that point where I know I can make music. I know I can make music. You feel me? Cash knows he can make music. I keep mentioning Cash because this is someone you guys had.
Yeah.
We know we make it. You know, we know we can just open a laptop and make music, or grab a guitar and make music. You feel me?
You're not winging it. You know what you're doing.
You know what I'm doing. So once you walk in with that attitude, you feel me? They have that attitude because they bring something to the table. I know what I bring to the table. Even if I'm not that big or yet, you know, or I have something and I've done a lot of things before where I know that sounds like back to that conversation. This sounds right. This doesn't sound right. Yeah. So, nah, it doesn't intimidate me. What really intimidates me is maybe like their experiences. You know, not who they are as a person, but it's because I want to do that. So, the shows they've done, you feel me? The amount of people, like lives they've touched, that is like crap. You know, you've seen more people have seen you. That's crazy. When it comes to work is work, music's music. Once we're in the same room and where, you know, like we're here to make music, it's just music, you know.
That's dope because I feel like that confidence transfers over to like the higher ups, you know, because you don't have any, you have that confidence of knowing like, hey, literally my entire squad is dope as fuck. Like nobody's gonna, there's no weak link. You know what I'm saying? Which
that's who they are. That's how they roll. You feel me? But they also have people, you know, that they look up to, like Oprah. You know, everybody looks up to Oprah. You know, so it's like you just look at her and her experience is like, whoa, you've touched a lot of lives. That's how I see it, as like, wow, you touched a lot of lives. Like J Balvin touched a lot of lives. You feel me? Maluma has done tours where it's like millions of fans at the end of his tour. You're like, whoa, that's a lot of people that have seen you. Musically, I'll be like, nah, I can do that. I can make a song.
Do you get more of a cake recording or going out on, you know, tour performing? Oh yeah,
performing. That's where it's at. Here I feel a little caged. You feel me? Like we're here and we're just waiting to burst, and like I'm just waiting for it. You feel me? You just grabbing anxiety to just go out there and just go do shows. You know, to me it's doing shows, touching the people, meeting the people. You know, having people like want you. You feel me? I've seen people like on lives that blow up with like, you know, thousands of people on lives. I've seen it in person, and that wakes you up. You're like, it does exist. You know, I've seen cars like, you know, surrounded by people. You know, and you see it with NBA players. You know, but that's what makes me want to be that. You're like, yo, I want to be great. I want people to accept my music and to want my music. You know, I want people to like jam out to it. And now it's not a want no more. Now it's like how do I say it? It's kind of like
a matter of when.
Yeah. Now it's like it's gonna happen. Now it's like like I know it's gonna happen. If I continue, it's gonna happen. My music's good, and you're gonna like my music.
Oh yeah.
You know, and I learned to say it's not the people around me, and I can't rely on the people around me, because the people around me are different people, you know, and they live for different to like listen to different things. Like Craig listens to hip hop, so I can't expect Craig to jam to me, and I can't be mad that Craig doesn't jam to me. You feel me? So I've learned to find my audience somewhere else, you know,
and not force an audience.
So that's where it's like, yo, I really want to go out there and perform to these people, or find these people, and have them be like, this Tony exists. Because here I'm here and I'm just you. But to somebody in South America, this is somebody, like, you know, like they have to pay for internet to watch your videos.
Yeah.
We have unlimited internet. So to them, you become what they want.
They still got cyber cafes over there, baby. We paying by the hour.
Yes, dude.
You know
so when they want to go sit down and they have to go to like
you want
like
to chat on WhatsApp, baby? I'm paying like $5 an hour to chat.
They will literally go and wait for you at the airport because they've paid just to see you. You know, just to see you like online.
It's a whole different.
You know, it's a whole different go. That's what I want to do. I want to see them. I want to experience that. And I felt from that for a while, and now I'm back on that. Like, yo, I want people. I want shows.
That's dope. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are ever, you know, going to a Tony J tour and you're like, oh my God, I got my camera on me. I'm getting all this amazing Tony J footage.
ill-logicz been to one of my shows.
He has. And ill-logicz had his camera on him himself. And so what are you going to do with all this beautiful Tony J footage? All right? Nothing illegal. All right? You're going to hit up Tom MJ Moore, and he's gonna get all that Tony J footage. He's gonna make it into like an IMAX masterpiece. You know what I'm saying? A documentary to be reckoned with. That's Tom MJ Moore. That's a beautiful man right there. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been an absolute honor having Tony J in the studio. Tony, do you have any shout outs? Anything that you're kind of like currently working on that you wanna give the fans a little bit of an insight for them to go check out?
Well, I started this year with my EP Control. That one did very, 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 very good. I got good responses off of it. People actually, check that out. So people actually started like, yo, more music from you. So I brought out High about a month ago. That's the video we just saw.
Watched. Yep.
That was part of an EP that I mentioned that I was gonna drop precisely next Friday, this Friday.
Shit.
And then just on my, I just like, yo, people like, yo, I want to listen to music. I dropped a song Friday. I dropped a song from the EP Friday.
Right there.
So check out that video. Check out Paso Mejor. Check out High on YouTube. Those two songs got playlisted by Vivo. They're on Nuevo Pop Latino and Pop Latino. Rising Latino.
Rising Latino, baby.
And you see the names. Like if I put up the names right now, you'd be like, how? Like, watch, look, hold on. This is very quick.
Let's name drop a little bit.
Vivo Rising Latino. I'm going to go to Rising Latino. There's, which is pretty name, Manuel Turizo. You know Manuel Turizo. Yeah. Abraham Mateo, Becky G. Right? Leslie Shaw, Thalia.
Damn.
Right? Random, Mariah. You know Mariah?
Of course.
Perreito. Right? Abraham Mateo again. Oh, no. Someone else.
Yeah.
These are all Spanish. And then randomly, Tony J. So I'm in here
killing
with
the game.
You feel me? And if I look up the pop one, there's bigger names there, like who's this lady? Gloria Stefan's on that page. Yeah. And then you got Tony J on those playlists. So they're working.
Gloria Stefan's, that's the homegirl right there.
Yeah, so I'm gonna need you guys to check that video. I'll check out those videos. Those videos are literally popping right now on Vivo.
And you said that you're dropping the EP next Friday?
This Friday, June 26th on all platforms. You can pre-save it right now on Apple Music.
Actually, they don't even need to pre-save it because by the time that this comes out, the EP is gonna be out. So check
the EP out. Okay. So check the EP out.
Out now.
Okay.
Check it out.
Yeah, definitely. So that's out. Control, Imperium, those are the two EPs that I'm dropping this year. Imperium B-sides I'm dropping next month with another couple songs with one of the dudes that used to work here, Mikey Lowe. That song is actually like, I've showed it to like 10 people and they're going nuts about it. So I'm really excited over that's track 3 of Imperium B-sides. The tracks I'm excited about now are the tracks I just released, High and Paso Mejor on A sides of the EP. I'm dropping 2 EPs.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're never gonna get tired of new content. You're always gonna have new content, baby. He's turning that shit as a machine, as a music machine right there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So we're just working. I'm gonna need you guys to check me out in Instagram, Tony J Official, Facebook, Tony J Official, Twitter, also Tony J Official. I have a website, Tony J Music. Check me out.
Check it out.
Follow me, Tony J Vivo on YouTube, and we're out there, guys, just grinding it out every day.
You're out there. You see it on the screen, ladies and gentlemen. You know what it is. Every Thursday at midnight, we got a brand new episode. Go to Spotify, go to YouTube, hit that follow, that subscribe. I don't know the different names. They got different names. Instagram, all that good stuff. Get it going, get it popping. Hit up Tom, get it right. You know. You got anything for the people?
Send all the footage to Tom.
Yeah.
Nah, y'all be safe.
Be safe.
Watch out for each other.
Mm-hmm.
And let's hit the gym again, bro, because I'm excited.
Amen.
ill-logicz on like 9 hours of sleep in 48 hours.
He is. He did arms too. So he did arms. So if you don't see him raise his arms a lot, it's because they weigh a lot right now. You know?
Yeah,
that boy's sore.
How was it? Check camera. Raise your hands.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's like, Craig, you got anything for the people?
Nah, we good. Be safe.
Be safe. Respeto. I love it. All right. Every Thursday at midnight, if not Friday during the day when you're working on that, you know, that first day of the weekend, get in a good mood. You know what I'm saying? But we'll see you every Thursday at midnight. Holla. And it don't matter what the world thinks. You can say how you feel on midnight in Miami. When you can push it to the limit, it gets real.